just a lot of tankiness that they have available. I feel like OK Savings Bank Breon have come out of this draft feeling pretty powerful, but there is certainly still a lot of expressiveness on the DRX side. UCal about it. The very first time a Vietnamese player has played in the LCK. Let's get into it.
We'll have a lane swap in our first game of the year here, but it will be matched, so neither team will actually get an advantage.
Ooh, that's called Australian style.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, he's going to drive on through, see whether he can get a flash. Oh man, I think UCal didn't even think that he was going to go quite that far, but that gravity field, just beautiful. And first blood, still going to be an option here on this patch, as now Humbug making his way down towards the bottom side as well. Rich in a little bit of trouble as Morgan trying to find some of these Qs, doesn't quite get there though. And Humbug at level 4, not going to be able to do too much. Throws a rock.
You know, it's not going to matter necessarily all too much.
Well, let's see what Sponge can get done here, as Closure going to have to try and ult his way out. Of course, Permafrost stacked up, but not actually opted into here, as Polu making his way down. Humbug deciding that he doesn't really want to get too aggressive, as Polu also going to act the same way. He gets himself out of there, as it looks like Grub's going to be on the table here for DRX. They try and grab those. You can feel that first blood weighing on both of these teams, not wanting to give this up.
And, you know, Closer doesn't have ult anymore because he used it to escape, so this is a really tough fight here for Bro. No ult for Paulo, of course, at level 4 either.
Yep, Closer moving in. Morgan there as well. Level 6 available. He can go all out if he would like it, as it seems like Bro should be able to get themselves one of these. They've taken control of the area, at least for now. So no feats of strength to go down for either team. Great double knockback here from Morgan, is now Rich to the skies. Trying to throw Closer around the gravity field is extraordinary, and Polu is going to go down for first blood. That's Lazyfield picking up first blood in his first game, but it's traded back immediately. The Bros do not waste any time, as Morgan is looking for Rich as well. Grabs his opposite number, and now Lazyfield and UCal, they have to just get out of there. Closer a bit distracted by minions, as we can see, as Morgan wanting to dash after this little Corki, but the Valkyrie does come in, and Closer almost just straight up dies.
And again, UCal in danger.
Yeah, flashes forward, going to be able to pick up. Oh, the ulti just goes completely wide. The Impale holds him out of the way, but still he's able to grab the kill onto UCal. Chaos Storm not doing too much, and Andil, I'm sorry, buddy, wrong place, wrong time, and you are just more food for the Yone. And Bro, like we mentioned already, only need one more of those, and they're going to be sorted. Dragon has spawned. That's Hextech Drake. See what Soul is going to be immediately afterwards. But right now, Humbug just trying to take control of the area. Undil going to be able to sweep things out. They get word of the fact that that Leona is in the area, and Closer has started this one up. They are on vision, but I don't know whether this Dragon is going to last long enough for that vision to mean anything at all. UCal moves over, they get rid of that control ward, but that is going to be a feat of strength going over to the Bros in the form of these objectives. Just the turrets.
I think so.
You shouldn't miss those. That's not how things should be done. We're going to have a look at this again. I mean, a cavalcade of errors.
Yeah, it doesn't really help that Sponge misses his ultimate, and maybe they could have at least turned this into a better situation here, but I don't think this is ever going to be a good situation for them with the numbers disadvantage they have, the tanky health bars, etc. Aggressive play there and actually look to complete their feats of strength, but there's just not enough damage to get through those health bars. It's a good follow-up engage there from Palu as well. And now Bro looking to clean this turret off the map. Look at how well they control mid lane. They also have Morgan sitting on the bottom side, who had teleport available the entire time. Could have joined, didn't need to. And so that's the first turret going over. That's feats of strength here, the first one of the LCK Cup.
Before a lot of Storm that's going to be coming in very soon. Unless Morgan decides to go all out, which he does. Rich in so much trouble here. The dashing continues. The flash does have to come out. That means that Rich will be safe for the moment. Top lane is out of the picture. And now another fight breaking out around this Dragon Pit. UCal moving in. Watch out for that Chaos Storm. But there's the Magnet Storm. Speaking of storms, and the better one is on the side of the Bros. Double kill for Hype. And Morgan, he's there towards the top side. He's just taking out inner turrets. And there is a teleport coming in from Rich to try and
so quickly and has made such a big impact in these team fights.
Well,
Andil.
Yeah, Andil is dead, guys. Oh, he's going to flash. Still probably dead, but he's going to try and do what he can before he does end up going down. And when I say still dead, he is not. It's a double impale. It's the other members of his team that are going to be going down. UCal, the first one to hit the deck, as Lazyfield turns up. And it looks like Bro just going to back away and say thanks for your mid laner. Well, now Rich could be in trouble. Morgan looking for an opportunity, not wanting to press the R button just yet.
Yeah, not quite. And, you know, UCal was closer to the Leandres than I thought. He has that done now, and you can see the damage coming through from Lazyfield. It's not, you know, that there's no way to get through these tanks. It's just not Jace that's going to do it. Bro need to be careful about really just kind of overextending and saying, hey, like, this game is done. We win this for sure. They need to be a little bit more careful about how they take some of these fights. I get it. 7,000 gold up. But some caution should be taken. They still win that fight. They still get the kill onto UCal, and they still going to get Otacon. But if this was a more even game state, might have been a bit of a disaster.
Yep. And so now the Bros are going to get it down to 50% health, and I think that, you know, Sponge is trying to make his way in. Polo's going to hold him in position. Andel's in trouble once again. Eclipse doing so much work. I just don't know whether it's doing quite enough. As now, Closer going back, and yeah, he's just going to pretty much recall and then head back in. Doesn't have teleport though, so he's going to be a little while making his way over. A 4 versus 5 just for a bit as the Magnet Storm is gorgeous with the bullet time over the top. Crash in from Humbug there as well. Finds an Impale onto Lazyfield, who cleanses Valkyrie, does everything he can to get himself out of the way, and this time finally, Handel is going to go down. Morgan is just going completely ballistic here towards the top side of the map. Flashes out of the gravity well. Another kill onto UCal. The Lord is definitely almighty in his first game of the LCK Cup. They're going to take down Sponge as well, and it's only Lazyfield left standing. Yes, they stopped the Baron, but I don't know whether they're going to stop it again.
Last man on the lineup today, last one to fall. And down he goes. Makes it an ace. Since elimination matches in Kespo Cup, they haven't lost.
Exactly. And they've taken more Otacons in other than any other team ever.
In LCK history.
Cup history. Exactly. Yeah. It is extraordinary. That's extraordinary as well. The Impale comes through, the bullet time comes down. And yeah, we're being a bit facetious. We're having a bit of fun because, ladies and gentlemen, this game is over. Closer diving on forward. Polo once again showing off the fact that he is going to get player of the match. That is just how it's going to go. His Rel has been so extraordinarily good. And DRX just going to be happy that he can't play it again in game number 2. Sponge going to get wiped from the Rift. Handle onto the fountain. But Morgan's going to do his very best to pull him back out there. And we're not going to be able to talk about respawning Nexus turrets because, unfortunately, the Nexus does not respawn, and that will be going down imminently. OK Savings Bank Breon with the very first victory here for our LCK Cup, putting themselves 1-0 in the series. Him and Polu working together is really demonstrating to everyone how good Polu was, because we knew that very hyped up. You know, it's a bit on the nose, but that's just how it was. He was so good in Challenger. KT last year were amazing. And yeah, as you can see, it doesn't really disappoint. 28.7.
You know, tough matchups in the Kai'Sa. There's a lot of them. The Xayah
we knew it was going to happen.
Is the standard response. And I have a lot of problems with this, but one of my main issues is that Xayah is very low range and will need to follow up on like a Talia knockback by getting very close to a lot of danger, let's say, between Galio's taunt, which is going to be fantastic inside of the Aurora Circle.
All right, well, we'll see whether they can bro it up or whether DRX is going to be showing up in this game number 2. That was not great. Let's get into it. But I don't think I don't want to underestimate Closer on this Talia, because I feel like he can really make early games very difficult for his opposition, and I think that these lanes are definitely playable for Bro. One that's going to be coming up. That could be helping them out here as the flash from Lazyfield immediately comes up as Polu getting aggressive. Hype is still at full health. Polu does have to flash away though.
Deficit, and now in danger of Hambak diving early. The turret ramp is going to be quite important in this situation.
Yeah, Lazyfield thinking about where he wants to go, and honestly there's not a lot of options because he has no flash. That's first blood going over to the Viego. Gets the possession there as well to try and get a little bit more damage onto this turret. Beautifully done, and that is going to be Bro now picking up that first feat of strength.
Once again, Hambak just making such an early impact in the game, even earlier than he did in the previous one.
But I love to overreact.
I mean, he's such a similar player to Lucid. Anyways, we're gonna have a bit of a scuffle here.
Yeah, this time towards the bottom side, and with the flash slam into the wall onto Polu. They are gonna be able to take him down. 1,000 health on this Dragon. The seismic shove from Closer is just a little bit of a wave goodbye, and that is going to mean
that feat of strength completed.
Oh, Hype going very aggressive here, lit on fire immediately. And down to 50% health means that this grub fight could be very difficult, and a possible feat of strength opportunity here for DRX if they're able to lock it down, all 3 of them. The ability for Humbug just to steal away 1 is certainly going to be there. 5 grubs, though, going to lead to a possible first tower. But here's another engage. Great double knock up there from Andel as Humbug tries to get himself out, but doesn't manage to. Hype utilizing that Blade Caller really nicely, but not quite nicely enough as in goes Closer. His patented unwanted, overly aggressive play coming on through there as he tries to flash away, but he just takes a stick to the head, and that is going to be Sponge locking down that kill. And now Rich looking for some more damage to this turret. Going to be able to grab another Demolish proc, grabbing some more plates, and this could be another feat of strength going over to DRX as these grubs going to get started.
It looks like it will be to even it up. No one here to deny.
It's all right. Humbug trying to clear out some vision. Rift Herald going to be taken here by Sponge. Man, bro needs to find something. And it's so weird, right? Because we have often said that bro's ability to just try and make plays to get themselves back into a game.
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately for Morgan, he wasn't even able to get that turret there on the top side. Lazyfield coming up, he could ult in.
Yeah,
no turret.
There's a lot of ult-in availability. Of course, Rich not going to be able to ult-in on top of himself, as Morgan was even able to get a Blood Petal. That was pretty cool. Justice Punch avoided, and the Void Seeker not going to seek anything, or not going to find anything at least. As the Equalizer getting a lot of value, but Morgan's still dead. As Sponge going to be able to grab that one. Humbug looking for an opportunity here, but I don't know whether he's going to be able to find it. Decent little stump, but it's onto Rich, and he's so tanky. Another wall comes down, but Closer is just going to put it away immediately. Rich taken out. The sacrificial Galio.
Well, like you said, Closer really is the one who has the most agency to make a big play happen because he has that semi-global ultimate, has the ability to set up a single target pick. He's going to need to, get over here soon. They have vision of this.
Yep.
But stopping it's another story.
They know exactly what's going on. And it can be very dangerous because of the amount of shred that you do get. Humbug's moving on over and the teleport's coming in. All right, they are committing to this. Andil taking a fair bit of damage as now Morgan has turned up. The Equalizer is going to be so dangerous. Teamfight comes down, Killer Instinct into the backline. It's a phenomenal heroic entrance and Lazyfield is popping off. He gets into that backline. That's a triple kill for the Vietnamese player. And bro, they are sent packing. That is Otacon going down as well. So Richie can feel free to try and die because it doesn't even cost them too much at all.
And that's that call.
Well, Rich now just moving on over. Justice Punch is odd. He's just right underneath that turret, trying to get some use out of this Otacon passive. The ulti does come down there from UCal, and DRX is just going to wipe the floor with that turret. They take that one down real comfortably, and yeah, Rich invests his entire health bar, but he would have probably even preferred to die.
Have the back, buy, and return Void Staff done for UCal. This is a big Aurora, and they are happy to start this. It's on vision, but sometimes seeing isn't everything, Atlas, as they say.
Very true. Humbug is going to lay down some mist. Let's see whether he can find a way in here to try and get something stolen away. Seismic Shove going wide. Humbug in position, like, this could be a difficult Baron. As Sponge decides to turn it, he is able to lock that one down. Humbug gets in there, but doesn't get away with it. And that is Rich locking down that kill. They do manage to take down the Wukong, but the knockups are just gigantic. They take down Andil, but Hype is still in so much trouble. Lazyfield wants to flash in, and he will do so. Takes down his opposite number, and he's going to be able to help tidy up Morgan there as well. The Lord could not save them.
Likely. Man, Andil is having a fantastic night, Atlas. He is really feeling himself in the second game in particular, but even in game one had some decent moments. And that is that. Paperman's not going to be able to steal the Baron, and he just falls instantly. The flash follow-up knockup, though, from Andil was just Chef's Kiss, and now the base is falling here again at 27 minutes.
Yeah, I don't know whether Polo's going to be able to save this one, as, yeah, Lazyfield with these 3 items completed is doing so much damage. Void Seeker almost killing Humbug on the fountain where he stands, but the Nexus will go down, and that is a tied-up series.
And UCal tops the damage here. Was he the main character? Would have even gotten POG if we did POG? Probably not. But the fact that he can warp these team fights and they have such a strong, robust draft here that works so well together. All 5 champions have synergy together in this draft. I mean, it is just night and day what these two teams had to work with.
Absolutely.
This is where things get tough for...
the brand. I was wondering what... Okay, Closer just locks in Yasuo. That's what we're doing. That's how it's going to work out. Sure.
There's not a whole lot of setup for the Yasuo. I mean, you have the Nautilus ult, but can be quite strong. But Blind, of course. And
so I thought it was going to be Lilia. But I kind of like the brand, you know? Like, it's so, like, there's no range on DRX.
Yeah, I mean, you just burn them to death. And, it feels pretty good when you also have this really beefy front line. You have the Renekton and the Nautilus, and then you have a Yasuo.
Oh.
And now we're going to fight fire with fire here with Ambessa mid, which we saw in Kespa Cup actually was debuted.
I would 100% agree with you, Wolf. This is a whole lot of fun. Game 3, the decider between Bro and DRX. Let's get into it.
Nice I don't have any excuse.
Exactly.
But Closer, I looked it up. He has a 100% win rate on Yasuo. One game.
Well, I could go on hit, and I'd probably feel okay about it. Or you can say, well, they're going to have to stand around. They have no range. It's now Hype in a little bit of trouble here. Sponge making his way over. Wind does become lightning. The flash has to come out. They're going to accept that one for the moment. Towards the bottom lane, though, is Humbug. Gets some vision down. This Pillar of Flame could do a bunch of work. The hook goes wide, though. It's Closer. He's going to turn up. Great handshake comes in as there's the wind wall. Sponge going to have to flash away. Lazyfield doing the same thing. And another Pillar comes through, and the bailout not going to be working this time. First blood and a feat of strength going over to Hype. And another hook connects as Polo pick up the first palm of the tournament, my friend. Turning up. Let's see what's going to happen here as Sponge already getting to work on these grubs. I believe the first one was taken by Humbug, and indeed it was, so it should be 2-1. No feat of strength going to be counted down. The flash forward here as the Ruthless Predator comes down. The knockup from Closer to follow up. Lazyfield's on the floor, and the Bros, they did not appreciate that game 2 loss.
That well into the Varus, but with the Nautilus here, they're abusing the melee support incredibly well. The Hype didn't take the Comet or anything like that to try to poke his way into advantages, just wants to sit back. He's got 3 kills, so he's feeling okay, but at least Lazyfield is getting more back. Bro will be able to get these grubs, as you mentioned.
The satisfaction of watching Brand take grubs, even though the top laners didn't necessarily win out, as the hook comes through from Polu, gets the knockup onto Rich. Sorry about the caster curse, as, I think Humbug might have the damage. Does find himself the E. There's the stun, beautifully done.
They've got poke from both the Brand and that Varus.
Well, Morgan slowed down a little bit here. Yukal a little bit apprehensive to follow up with his jungler, as Morgan's going to be pushed away. Does have the dominance available. No flash, though, is now Rich in that brush. Does find the angle here onto Humbug. There's the knockup. Humbug getting himself out of the way, though, and he might actually be safe. Sponge cut down where he stands, and the Brand survives. Another hook is going to land there because Polo does not miss those. Morgan very, very low, though, as Lazyfield doesn't get the execution on the Rend. And now it's Hype. He has that range advantage. The Fade's call, though, may have baited them out. Hype gets knocked up, but there's no follow-up. It's just Polu that does go down. The blinking health bars on both sides. The knock-up onto Lazyfield. That is a lot of damage there as in goes Yukal. 2 lockdown. Lazyfield does get the bailout. Closer utilizing that wind well so beautifully. But now, can Yukal survive this? Is that the triple? Yes, it is. And DRX, they're on the board and in a big way.
A quiet early game for Yukal.
No.
Oh boy.
He was on a ward.
Well, things turning up in a big way here.
And now it's even closer than it was before. Polu possibly out of position here at the same time. The Hail of Arrows is going to slow down Sponge. He has to use the ultimate. Good handshake there from Andil as... Okay, the Herald is going to lose interest. Polu's just going to be cut down, though. That is going to be the bailout successful, but immediately it's locked up again. Lazyfield trying to find another angle here to get even more aggressive.
Humbug is not able to put any damage into DRX just yet.
All right, the Lord's flank angle is looking a bit dangerous here as the Rift Herald going to be secured by Humbug. Morgan can flash and gets on top of Lazyfield, but the Fate's call is pretty good. Hype untouched, though, until Yukal gets into that back line. Still, it's going to be a flash out. Hype still in pretty good position. Humbug dealing with Rich at this point in time, but the hero that is our Lord is going to get over the wall and then back over again. Yukal using all of these dashes, and it's just not going to be enough to grab the Brand.
Yeah, Humbug is just so slippery this game. It's so hard to lock down that final bit of his health. His positioning has been great. He's going to be able to layer enough damage in here now, it looks like, to actually take out this Otacon. And if he actually dies there, without his Leandre's damage, I don't know if they actually could take this.
And that was feats of strength as well. This is going to be Bro being able to upgrade their shoes.
Absolutely.
Some fancy Nikes now available for this squad. And looking at it, like you can see, Otacon revival is concerned.
It's just a stalemate here that Bro win when the minions get here. DRX just trying to group.
Yep, Hex Flash over is great handshake for the disengage out of Andil, but in comes Morgan. He's pre-ulted as well, just trying to keep them busy. It is going to be Andil going down first up, but you can see there is a whole lot of getting sent back to the fountain here for the Bros. Hype just trying to stand in position and deliver this damage. Yukal should be able to take him out, though, and there it goes. And Yukal as well, close to the highest level in the game, as you just saw, and he still has a gold lead even though there's been 5 kills picked up by Closer. Now Polo going aggressive once again. Lazyfield feels like he has a good angle, and in fact he does. Chains of Corruption does nothing. And the exhaust comes on through there as well. The bailout was on Lazyfield. He didn't even need it. 2 on the floor. Humbug joins this Yasuo, and down goes the Lord as well. 4 on the ground for Bro.
A ton of damage in there, but it wasn't enough. And DRX picking up this Baron will almost completely nullify the gold lead. It's going to be about 100, 200. That's the difference between them. But he's still, you know, pushed out of these fights and isn't given the time to actually maximize his damage. They don't have a mage mid laner, so they really need him to do well. Speaking of,
yeah, Morgan gonna have to try and protect him here as a flash forward. Great cast, but maybe he's now in. No, he's not. Lazyfield is going to be able to find him. Humbug going to go down extraordinarily low. The bailout. Is it going to be working here? And the answer is it doesn't actually have to, because he doesn't even go down. Oh, never mind. Leandri's burn will do it.
And Humbug doesn't expend his arm guard there.
No.
So, you know, some of the other tier 3 boots that we could see come through here, the upgraded Swifties for Hype, which will give him tons of movement speed. And okay, hold that thought.
Yeah, that's going to be Morgan taking a whole lot of damage here from Yukal, who's just not taking any damage at all. Morgan realizing that he just needs to deal with a minion wave, and he's not even going to be able to do that. And Yukal collects his 6th, undying so far today in this game.
I mean, that might just catching either Humbug or Hype will be massive TP.
Oh, here's the teleport. That's a bit of a short one, but Rich gets himself into position. Humbug goes golden, but he's the jungler, and he's just going to get executed. He does a bit of damage on his way out, but that is not going to be enough, and the Pro's not going to be able to stop this Baron. They might be able to deny a dragon, I guess, but even that's up in 20 seconds, and this Baron isn't going to last very long at all.
No.
The kills have been evened out, but the gold is well and truly. Yeah, that should be taken down here unless Closer can make something happen. He throws out the ulti. Morgan trying to get over there. Slices, dices, gets the stun, but it's not going to be enough. The flash out from Yukal is enough disengage. And now Rich could be in trouble, or he could just be way too tanky. Hype trying to get some damage down here. Sponge taking a little bit, but throws out the Crescent Guard. Yukal in some trouble. Great knock up here from Closer. He has to flash though to get out of the way. The Pros are fighting as hard as they can, but it's just not quite enough. Lazyfield is inside the base. I don't know whether that was necessarily the right call, but it looked really cool, and inhibitors are still going down. But yeah, Humbug is really going to have to make this wave clear work for them. And he's Brand, so it's pretty good, to be honest.
It's working okay so far.
Yeah, these Nexus turrets have not taken a lot of damage. Still, Rich is looking for that opportunity. The flash out from Hype has to be invested. Chains of Corruption will be the trade. It's a decent hook. And Rich taking a lot here, but are they actually able to kill him? That's the question. The overextension from Humbug says no. Oh, never mind. He flashes away, and he may actually live, because of course they have no range to speak of.
Yeah, I mean, that
a few barrels flying around.
They got to clear these super minions though. And DRX's Team Elder, Atlas.
It's kind of crazy as the ulti catches him, and once again Humbug is just on the floor. That broken arm guard looking at him just sadly from his inventory, and that will spell a Baron right on the spawn, and DRX I think might be able to end it here. The 3rd Baron is the charm.
Yeah. Like, how good is Brand's wave clear? Let's really find out.
Yeah, I think not good enough, especially when he cannot stay alive when any of the members of DRX look at him.
The inhibitors will respawn in about 30 seconds here, but I think that's just enough time for DRX to get these waves going, and the super minions are still already up here in all 3 lanes, so they're not just going to disappear.
Yeah, well, Rich is going to find an angle. That's a beautiful cast. Polo trying to get out, but once again, Humbug is just left to the wolves. Another hostile takeover is decent, but Polo's eaten by a dragon. Lazyfield is dancing around the battlefield, and his dragon is hungry, and it's hungry for the first match win of the LCK Cup for DRX. Teddy was unwell today. Lazyfield played in Challenger yesterday, picked up player of the match, and he may do it again here as DRX take down the Casper Cup champion.
There's an angle. I could see it. I can believe. And I feel like the last few years we've had some teams that you look at the roster and you're like, well, maybe next year, or let's see how much they can develop. But a team like this, we'll see how far they can go, but they're giving us a lot of optimism. I mean, these are Casper Cup champions they just knocked out today.
Exactly, and that is...
Thank you very much, guys. This is Dear for the first POM interview translation of 2025 LCK Cup. Congratulations,
네, 여러분 큰
Yukel.
박수 부탁드립니다. 오랜만에 정말 돌아오셨습니다. 유칼 선수 이렇게 보니까 너무 반가운데요.
Yukel is back
팬분들께
after a
인사
very
한번
long
해주시죠.
time.
안녕하세요. DRX의 미드라이너
Please say hello to your fans.
반갑습니다.
Hello, I am the mid laner of DRX, Yukel.
이렇게 첫 번째 매치 승리하셨어요. 기분 어떠신가요?
장로 그룹의 첫
How do you feel? You guys got your first win for Group Elder.
경기하면서 1세트는 지긴 했지만 질
No, we
거라는
came with the
생각은
mindset
했었던
of
것
winning. Even though we gave game 1 away, we were still in the game, so I think we're all really just focused on winning the next one.
어떤 마음으로 치르셨는지 궁금합니다.
일단은
What did you go
저희가
into
이제
game
멤버로
one
처음
with?
뛰는
What
거기
kind of
때문에 물론
mindset?
지금 테디 선수가 없지만 그래도 무조건 이기자라는 마음으로
Yeah,
왔었고
so Teddy
그렇게 승리를
is
따내니까 지금 기분이
has
좀
gone
많이
down
좋은
with
것
the
같아요.
flu.
레이지필 선수에 대한
And
이야기를 해주셨습니다.
It wasn't the same.
오늘
It wasn't really.
선수가
It was out of the
득점으로
ordinary, but I'm
인구
really
프로
glad that we were
레이지필
able to
선수가
secure
함께
today's
하게
victory.
됐습니다. 아무래도
So
커뮤니케이션
Lazy Phil was actually called up, and the language barrier in communicating and playing as a team on such short notice must have been so challenging. But based on your mic check, it seemed like everything was good. How was it?
그래서 좀 재미있게
No, I think Lazy feels actually really trying hard to be on the same page with the rest of the team, so it's really been very helpful. What would you like to say to Lazy Phil? Lazy Phil, you're so good.
자, 유칼 선수의 별명이 하나 있죠. 바로
And Yukel, you have some of these nicknames, the best blade of Joseon or maybe Excalibur, and that was given to you for excelling at Yasuo. And in Game 3, you matched up against the Yasuo with your clean and best of plays and lived up to those nicknames.
오늘 POG 받겠구만 이 생각을 했었던 것 같아요.
Yeah, I think when I was playing during that Ambessa game in Game 3, I actually did feel like I was going to get POM from my gameplays. So you will face 4 more mid laners in the rest of LCK Cup. So what would you like to say to them?
제가 제일 좋아하는 상혁 페이커
Take
선수랑 하게
good care of me, you
되는데
guys.
기대되는 것 같아요.
네, 멋진 경기 저희도 함께 기대하도록 하겠습니다.
And I'm really looking forward to the rest of the matches. And that's the end of the interview from Yukel and back to the space. Thank you.